how are you? And how are you finding the first team role?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been really good actually. Probably unexpected to a certain extent. Came back in for pre-season and get a phone call from the gaffer say, for the moment they need somebody to come up and give them a bit of a dig out, which was great. So really pleased with that, and then it seemed to go really well. Seemed to fit in, do all the bits that the gaffer wanted from me, and I think he was keen that I get a look at what the role entails as well, and make sure that it was the right fit. And as it turned out, it was. So when he asked me to kind of step up and take the role on a full-time basis, it was really nice.
And obviously you've been here at Nottingham Forest as a player, under 23s head coach, now you're with the first team. How proud are you to continue your successful career path with the club?
Yeah, I'm really proud. It's it's a club that I think everybody knows does means a lot to me. I've covered a lot of different roles, player and as a coach as well. So to be able to step up, it's really nice, and I am really proud to be up around the first team and being able to contribute. Even when you get in the match days, being able to have even if it's just a small impact on a match day, I think is really important. But the most important thing is that the manager felt I was the right person to step up and do that. I think there's probably nice stories surrounding the fact that somebody's been at a club for a bit, but they have to be skilled enough to do the job, and I'd like to think that that I am. I think I've done a decent job. My coaching journey's been a good one so far. Started off in international football, moved into club football, and kind of feel like I've earned my stripes to a certain extent. So I feel like I've got the skill set to be able to do it. Also feel that there's still loads more for me to come. I step up and see the quality of the manager and Tatey and the rest of the staff, Jamie Robinson and I suppose even you look at Danny Alcock, the goalkeeping coach. They work to a really high level. So for me, it's what does good look like, and I'm seeing what good looks like every single day, and you want to try and be a part of that, which I know that I can do, and I think I have done.
And what does it mean to you personally to see Nottingham Forest back in the Premier League?
Yeah, it's it's amazing. I think probably the biggest regret of my playing career was the fact that I never got to play in the Premier League with Forest. It was always a massive ambition, and we came close a couple of times, but probably never really. The teams I played in were just a little bit short of making that step. And to see how the team developed last season and kind of watch a little bit from the outside, but also being over there and watching what the gaffer does, I think I always pop my head around to see what they were working on, to see what the gaffer was doing for my development as well, and to see how the team developed and what they turned into at the end of last season was absolutely fantastic. So I think that's brilliant. I think it's really good. And then if you take away the football side of it and look what it's done for the city, look how it's galvanised the fans, look how it's given something to cheer about. And I think the gaffer goes on about giving the city and giving the fans a team to be proud of, and he tells the players that regularly, and I think it's really poignant. I think it's an important thing. Everybody's got a personal pride when they step out onto the pitch, but us as a staff and the players, I think it's really important that we give the fans a team to be proud of, and I think there's nothing short of that over the last kind of 12 to 18 months. The fans have been immensely proud of the team.
You mentioned it there actually about your playing career. What are some of your highlights playing for Nottingham Forest as a player?
Well, I think getting to the playoffs, I suppose, on my first time around, it was a disappointment that Sheffield United beat us, but getting to the playoffs obviously was an achievement in itself. And I think when I came back, the team that we played in under Billy Davis, I think was a really enjoyable team to play in. Lots of really good players, and maybe if we had held it together a little bit more, players and probably staff as well, we could have kicked on and done something bigger. But stepping out onto that pitch, and playing on that pitch was fantastic. It was great, and I think seeing the players do it now is brilliant. So I've got plenty of good memories of playing, but they're almost in a lot of ways quite a distant memory now at this stage. And it's not to belittle them, because they were so enjoyable, but it's all about coaching for me now. I love coaching. I've always loved my football. I think anybody who spent any time with me always knew that I love talking about football. I love the game. I love how it operates. And now I'm kind of plying my trade in a completely different way. And I love my coaching. I've loved the journey that I've been on so far, and I still feel that there's loads more to come from it.
And obviously this season there'll probably be a lot of ups, also a lot of downs as well. How do you guys as coaching staff remain sort of level-headed throughout these hard times, and obviously the good times as well?
Well, I think that's the important point. When the good times come along, you can't let the highs be too high, and then for the players, we have to be that consistent for them, where the lows can't be too low. No uncertain terms can. There's no uncertain terms that we can't. You can't accept certain things, and we all have to drive each other and push each other. But also there has to be a degree of realism to kind of what we're trying to build here. And I think the fans play an important part in that. We feel it as staff, and I know that the players feel it. Sometimes in games when we might be on the back foot, them fans singing and making the noise that they make is really, really important. The atmosphere at the City Ground in the last kind of 12 to 18 months has been as good as I ever remember it. As a player, when I was here first time, when I come back second time, and that kind of works both ways. So there's the team have to give the fans something to cheer about, and then the fans kind of come along and they back that up, and they have done magnificently. So that's going to be needed. I think the fans understand, and they have to understand that there's going to be times when the players step out on the pitch, they really, really need the support, and they've been so forthcoming with it. From the song just before the kick-off that gets everybody so emotional and raring to go, to when we score, the noise, to when we're on the back foot, as I said, them kind of really getting behind the team. It's so important, and the players are really appreciative of it, and I think it flows down onto the pitch. So there's going to be times when we're going to need them.
And obviously you yourself have got quite a long history in developing young players. Obviously Steve Cooper has as well. How excited are you to be doing that for the first team?
I think it's really important. If you look at the way that you develop kind of teams, I think an important part of that is individual development as well. And I think as coaches you want to develop individual players as well that fit into a team structure. So that's really, really important, and it's really important that we don't just say, right, we want to develop young players. You want to try and help all players. There's no reason why a player who's 28, 29, 30, even a little bit older can't get better. So I think probably part of the role for me is to maybe look at the individual side of it as well, which is really important. So yeah, you develop the team, and the gaffer does that brilliantly well, but we also have to have a focus on our individual players getting better, because if we get players better individually, as I said, within the team structure, then that helps the team.
It's not on my question list, but did you follow the under-21s last night in their 3-1 victory?
Yeah, I did. Listen, it's a lot of them players I've kind of worked with, and I've had I've been in and around their development over the last couple of years. So I get down to the games when they're home, when we can, and follow the ones when they go away. Keep an eye on what the scores were. So I was delighted for them. It's been a tough enough start to the season in terms of results. But if you have a look at the teams that we've put out, because of players that might have been needed a little bit higher up, there's always a knock-on effect to that. So some of them young players have had to be bumped up a little bit earlier than maybe what we would have liked for them early parts. So you get a decent team out on the pitch yesterday of probably players who are more ready for that level, and you end up with a good result. So I was pleased with everybody involved.
Smashing. Well done, mate. Perfect timing.